Hello there, this is Mike Goldenberg with some Abzan Company here in a replay video against Storm. So to start, I have a hand which is very good. As long as I draw a land, I have a turn 3 win here by playing turn 1 Temple Garden tapped, turn 2 Devoted Druid, turn 3 another land, Chord for Vizier, and then play Duskwatch Recruiter. So there's the other land, which everything's on curve. My opponent played Serum Visions and topped 2, which could be anything, but then when they drop a Baral, I know that I'm playing up against Storm, which makes me realize that the only way I can win this game is if I drop the turn 2 Druid and Druid does not die. My opponent starts storming off, which makes me a bit nervous, but they haven't played a land for turn, which makes me feel a lot better. So when they cast this Gifts, I'm thinking, whatever I do, get gut shot into the graveyard, so they can't kill the Druid, most likely, unless they have a land in their hand and they have 4 cards in their hand. Opponent reveals 2 rituals, a Grape Shot, Manamorphose. I ditch the Grape Shot and the Manamorphose, and then they just ritual into the Empty the Warrens that's in their hand for a ton of goblins, and they attack for 1. Luckily, I don't care about that because the goblins don't kill me, and I can just kill my opponent right here. I can Invoke for 2, play the Duskwatch from hand, and win the game. Whew. Now we obviously got a little lucky there. If our opponent had had a gut shot in their hand instead of the empty, we would have just absolutely died. But they didn't, and you need to get a little lucky to win game 1 against Storm. And we did. So we can be excited about that and head into game 2. Now in terms of sideboarding, here's my sideboard. I cut Rallier, or in this case Eternal Witness, a couple Collected Companies, some more Eternal Witness, a Finks, and a Seer. I bring in Removal, Sin Collector, Skoos, and an Eidolon. Now, I ended up cutting an extra Finks rather than Eternal Witness, or the Rallier in this case, because I felt that I wanted access to the Eternal Witness more than I wanted the 3rd Eternal Witness more than the 3rd Kitchen Finks. The reason I cut Collected Company here, even though, hey, it's an absolutely great top deck, it's maybe the most powerful card in my entire deck, is because I don't need card power. I don't even need card advantage against Storm. I need card selection. I want Court of Calling all day long against Storm so I can get the specific card I need to win the game. With Company, there's a bit of luck. There's what if I could get 2 cards that I need? Sure. But against Storm, I'd rather get that 1 card I need faster than maybe get a card that I need a little bit slower. So then we go to game 2. That was my sideboard plan. And I'm showcasing this because game 1 we were all about comboing as fast as possible. In game 2, that is not what we're doing. Game 2, because of the hand we're given, I look at this, I say turn 1 Dork, turn 2 Eidolon, turn 3 Company, keep. Absolutely keep this because we might be able to lock our opponent out quick. So I lead with a turn 1 Dork, pass turn. Our opponent starts setting up their draws, and I play the Eidolon. At this point, we might be able to lock our opponent out, but they kill the bird, so I cannot Company this turn. So because I can't Company, I'm going to play Walking Ballista for 1. And the reasoning behind that is this. So I'm going to play a land and play Walking Ballista. But the way I want the future turns to progress is I want to go next turn play Company. The turn after that, maybe untap Chord for the next piece I need to combo off, and then play Ballista. But I can't play more than 1 spell a turn, because Eidolon of Rhetoric also hits me. So if Ballista's already in play, and I Coco into a Druid, Chord into a Vizier, great, perfect. Coco, turn 4, Chord, turn 5, win the game. I can't win the game if Ballista isn't in play. So I believe it is correct here to play the Walking Ballista for 1, swing for 1, pass turn. This way I give myself the best possible chance for ending this game as fast as possible. Because I have a soft lock on my opponent, and unless I can make that a hard lock, then this game is not going to go well for me. So I hold up the Company mana, and I attack. Opponent plays Manamorphose, just a cycle. An argument could have been made for me to go Chord for Druid, but I don't think that's right here. And then Company for Vizier. I'd rather Company, see what I hit. In this case, I hit Finks and Seer, and top deck the Vizier. Now, I didn't need to top deck the Vizier because I had the Chord in my hand anyway, and I was going to be chording for Vizier. But the way I sequence this, I think, is kind of important. I have infinite life right now. My opponent could only cast one spell per turn. So I don't actually try to combo. I just pass. It's on my opponent now to cast a spell. Once they cast a spell, they can't do anything else. So here, I decide to put a little more onus on them and Chord for Druid. They are dead if I'm allowed to untap. So my opponent makes a reaction. They bolt. So if I had gone for infinite life the moment I had it, they would have just had the bolt the Vizier, and then I just sit there looking stupid. But because I waited an absolute longest time, I know my opponent cannot respond now because they already cast their one spell per turn. So in this case, I decide to scry for a Chord of Calling. It's the one card I want to be drawing at this point in the game. Chord allows me to get another Druid if I want it. It allows me to get a Shalai. It allows me to get another Eidolon or a Sin Collector, whatever I want. Most of the time it's going to be a Shalai or a Druid. Shalai to protect my Eidolon or a Druid to win the game. So I gain a ton of life. Opponent does not concede. If this was in paper, they would concede right now, but this is online and they do not, so that's their choice. So I believe I go up to almost 90 life. Just trying to find that Chord of Calling, put it on top, keep it there, and gain some more life just to be safe. So we have a soft lock on our opponent right now. We have a ton of life, which means they have to win with Empty the Warrens. We have an Eidolon in play, and we have a small clock on them with the Kitchen Finks. Combo, combo, combo. Okay, so I play my land for turn, and I swing for 3 because there's no reason not to, and I pass the turn. Opponent just gets some chump blockers, which means I'm doing fine, and I decide to Chord for Shalai here, in case they are representing Bolt. And granted, I could if I Chord for Druid here, I could just win on the upkeep, but it's a harder lock if I Chord for Shalai and take one more turn off. This is mostly due to this being on MTGO. In paper, I would absolutely just Chord for Druid here, and then if on my upkeep they decide to try to kill Druid, I will just gain infinite mana and float it onto Ballista. But I get Shalai here, and decide to get a hard lock on my opponent, which is a guaranteed victory. Now they need 2 removal spells, 1 to kill Shalai, 1 to kill Eidolon, so then I can close out this game. But they can only cast 1 spell per turn, and I now have a significant clock on my opponent. So I gain a ton of life, put a Druid on top, put a Druid instead of a Chord, so I can also add 1 to Walking Ballista in case it's relevant. And I feel no need to attack with everything. Opponent casts Goblin Electromancer, and now they're dead. So to be cheeky, I decide to activate the Gavany Townships because I just love doing that. And then I floated a bunch of mana, put it on Shalai, and swung with just Shalai to win, even though I could have used Ballista or swung with everything. It didn't matter. Opponent does have 2 cards in hand and 3 open mana, but again, it does not matter. This game is over. It's been over since we were able to gain effectively infinite life. But I wanted to showcase, most importantly, playing the Ballista when we know that our plan is to Company then Chord, because we can't double spell under Eidolon. I want to showcase how this matchup, you wait to gain infinite life, under an Eidolon until your opponent reacts, because then you know they cannot react again. And I also want to point out how very different this deck is game 1 to game 2. Game 1, I just needed the turn 3 win. But because they are a faster combo, and because their combo also influences and affects the board, like they are able to grape shot, clear our board, and then just wait a couple turns and then grape shot to kill us. That couple turns of tempo means they have power, means we have to react to them. Where this deck is powerful is that it can oftentimes force decks to react to them. Jund, Blue-White Control, they're going to bring in a bunch of cards to react to our combo because they're scared of our combo. Amulet Titan reacts to our combo because they're scared of our combo. We don't... Storm's not really scared of our combo because their combo is faster and they can use their combo to kill our combo. So we have to be more reactive to them with cards like Eidolon, Sin Collector, and a couple Path to Exiles. So that's the match. Really just wanted to showcase how to use Eidolon so it doesn't hurt you. Use Eidolon so it hurts your opponent. Even though, yes, it can hurt you too, it just proper sequencing can take care of that. So I will see you on the next one.